Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are here with Austin from Ohio, and it's still January 24th, 2022. This is the second video that I made today, so if you haven't watched the first one, please go and do that. I'm just going to get right into it. I'm going to spare the pleasantries. I'm going to jump right into it. Check this out. This is for all those people who said, oh, they could never do this, they could never do that, and before somebody comes on here that stumbles across this video and says, oh, this is Austria. That's not America. That's not Canada. It's not Europe. Mind you, this will happen. This is the agenda. This will happen here in the United States and everywhere in the world. This is part of the final phase of the rollout of the vax. Austrian Parliament approves vaccine mandate for adults. You read that right. The general public, as in regular people, not to get a job, not to go into a store, simply for existing. This goes against every single human rights. I have no words. It goes against everything that people have ever fought for in the world. We are letting it just unravel, and we're letting it go. Okay, Austria's parliament has voted to introduce a C-19 vaccine mandate for adults from February 1st, the first of its kind in Europe. Austria's parliament voted Thursday, we know that, with maximum potential fines of 36 €100 or 4,000 US dollars for people who don't comply after a series of reminders. Can you imagine being fined $4,000 because you won't take something? Lawmakers voted 137 to 33 in favor of the measure, which will apply to all residents of Austria age 18 and over. Exemptions are made for pregnant women, people who, for medical reasons, can't be vaccinated, or who've recovered from the situation in the previous 6 months. Here's something for you. The medical reasons, they spent a long time getting rid of that. Spent a long time getting rid of religious exemptions. Officials say the mandate is necessary because vaccination rates remain too low in the small Alpine country. They say it will ensure that Austria's hospitals are not overwhelmed with C-19 patients. Funny, because here in America, all you're hearing are stories of either A, empty hospitals, or B, if they do go to the hospital, they were vaccinated right before then. But again, what do I know? I'm just some 28-year-old from Ohio. Health Minister Wolfgang Mueckstein, speaking in Parliament Thursday afternoon, called the measure a big and, for the first time, also lasting step in Austria's fight against the situation. Quote, "This is how we can manage to escape the cycle of opening and closing of lockdowns," he said, noting that it's about fighting not just Omicron, but future variants that might emerge. This is why this law is so urgently needed right now. So again, with the rhetoric, it's the only way we can go back to normal. It's the only way that we can end the lockdowns. You can get your life back. No. Another way would be if the government would just back off. If these tyrants would just back off. And if they don't, they should be made to. Because that's what freedom is. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. There's no in between. There is no in between. And now with this world government, everything's going to be redefined. We already seen the semantics and the changing of words. We already know about all this. This is... The Austrian government first announced the plan for universal vaccine mandate at the same time it imposed a since-lifted lockdown in November, and amid concern that Austria's vaccination rate was comparatively low for Western Europe. As of Thursday, about 72% of the population of 8.9 million was considered fully vaccinated. That's another thing. Now they're saying, not just in America, but other places as well, now they're saying that if you got the first or second or third shot, you're no longer considered fully protected. Quote, 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 protected. So this is how this thing never ends. It's going to be 5 years down the road. And they're going to be like, oh, you got 67 shots. You're no longer considered fully protected till you get 100. Because COVID, right? Experts said. Anything you might ask, experts said. Because COVID. Like, come on. Come on. The measure passed easily in Parliament after a fierce debate. Yeah, fierce debate. Sure. Chancellor Karl Nehammer, governing coalition made up conservative Austrian People's Party and the Greens, worked with two of the three opposition parties in Parliament of the plan. The far-right Freedom Party vehemently opposed it. I'm appalled, I'm stunned, and I'm shaken, I'm shocked, said Freedom Party leader Herbert Kickl, calling the law nothing more than a huge blow to the freedom of Austrians. Speakers from the four other parties criticized what they said were the Freedom Party's deliberate attempts to stoke anti-vaccine sentiments in Austria, accusing it of spreading deliberate falsehoods about the safety and effectiveness of available vaccines. You guys remember Event 201? Whenever they weren't concerned about anything except for stifling dissent on social media and on the internet and taking out the anti-vaccine crowd and promoting more authoritative content, right? Okay. Pamela Rendi-Wagner, head of the opposition Social Democrats, said the vaccine mandate is something that we all didn't want, but that it has unfortunately become necessary to close this vaccination gap that still exists in Austria. Once the mandate goes into effect in February, authorities will write to every household to inform them of the new rules. From mid-March, police will start checking people's vaccination status during routine checks. People who can't produce proof of vaccination will be asked in writing to do so, and will be fined up to $685 or 600 euros if they don't. Does nobody read history? Does nobody understand what happens when you let government do this? We are up shit's creek with no paddle and a giant hole in the boat, going over a waterfall in the freezing cold. That's literally where we are. And basically it just goes on about all of this. So this is a mandate for the general population. It's got nothing to do with, oh, to get this job or that job. They already did that. This will come here. And take a look at the end date on this. The mandate is supposed to remain in place until the end of January 2024. An expert commission will report to the government and Parliament every 3 months on the vaccination progress. A lot of things are lining up with 2024, 2025. I'm just calling it how I see it. The government originally intended for the mandate to apply to all residents 14 and over, but changed that to 18 during consultations with political opponents and others. Basically just goes on about that. Now look at this. Austria's neighbor Germany is considering a mandate for all, but it's not yet clear whether, when, and in what form that will go ahead. So, looks like Germany's next on the list. You know what comes after that? France, Britain, Australia, Canada, the United States. Come on. Come on. This is a worldwide agenda. Very well coordinated. In lockstep, according to the plan. You better gear up. If you're not yet prepared mentally, spiritually, And physically, you are not prepared. If you are not yet prepared to deal with this, then you're not going to get it. You know who I feel the worst for? The children. People with children. They don't even know what to expect. These children and these parents of these children don't even know that they are supposed to know about certain events taking place. That's what scares me. Moving on. Okay, here we are over at my local news channel. And what propaganda campaign would be complete without a good controlled opposition story? Here's some controlled opposition for you. Anti-vaccine leader tells supporters to drink urine. Yes, you read that right. You heard me correct. This is what they do. This is how they lump all of us in the same boat. This is how they get away with what they get away with. This is how they turn the minds of the people against their fellow man. Despite the proven efficacy and safety of the 3 FDA-approved C-19 vaccines currently available in the U.S., one anti-vaccine leader is urging his followers to treat the disease with their own urine. It's among the latest in alternative treatments touted by anti-vaccine advocates during the situation. Christopher Key, known as Vaccine Police, pitched the unsupported claim over the weekend on his Telegram account. Key, who was recently released from jail, told followers of his group the antidote that we've seen now, and we have tons and tons of research, is urine therapy. Okay, I know to a lot of you this sounds crazy, but guys, God's given us everything we need. Of course, they bring God into it. They bring God into it because this is how they lump us all in together. You and I would be lumped in with this guy. This guy is obviously controlled opposition. So easy to see. Key, who was arrested on January 5th over a trespassing charge at a Whole Foods market last year, previously made headlines for claiming he planned to perform a citizen's arrest of Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards, whom he claimed was forcing child vaccinations. The Alabama resident, who also called for the execution of pharmacists who administer vaccines and called vaccinations a crime against humanity. Which they are. Hello. Key told the Daily Beast he believes in urine therapy, also known as urotherapy. The alternative medicine practice of ingesting or applying one's own urine is currently unproven to have medical benefits. Consumption of urine, known as urophagia or urine therapy, has been practiced by some for centuries, though benefits have not been scientifically proven. Over the years, there have been many disproven or unfounded claims about ingesting urine, including reports that it can stop cancer growth, of which the American Cancer Society has no scientific evidence. Look how funny this is. You see this graph, and nobody even notices this. No one even notices this. 2020. No cases. Goes up a little bit, goes down, up, down. Then you get to 2021. People start taking the thing. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Dips back down. Then you get to 2022. After time has gone by, after people have taken their thing, after the effects have, settled in, look at that spike. Look at that spike. You think that is organic? Do you think that is just because of some disease? Come on. There are no health benefits to drinking your own urine, and in fact, I think it can be quite detrimental. Each time you put it back, it will come out again even more concentrated, and that's not good for health as it could damage the gut. Helen Andrews, blah, 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 blah. So basically, they go on about this. The CDC urges and reminds Americans that currently available C-19 vaccines, which Pfizer, now fully FDA approved, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson, are safe and effective. They just keep repeating this. Booster shots are also available for most Americans. While vaccines do not ensure you won't become infected with C-19, they have significant real-world data confirming they prevent severe illness and hospitalization. So, If you speak out against this, like we do, you're going to be called a urine drinker, even though I don't think any of us in this group or anybody else that identifies with the truth community, I don't think that anybody would take this seriously, or I don't think that anybody would drink their own urine. I sure as hell won't promote that. One, it's disgusting. Two, if it did have some kind of effect, positive or negative, I don't know anything about that. So I can't even comfortably speak on that. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say, don't do it. Don't fall for this propaganda. This is controlled opposition at its best. Let me see what else I have for you guys. Okay, so here we are over at End Time Headlines. You'll own nothing and be happy. 1 in 4 Americans plan to quit their jobs in 2022. And a reminder, they know this. They know that people are going to quit. They want people to quit their jobs because they're trying to fast track the collapse of civilization. The Great Resignation will likely continue into 2022. About 1/4 of workers are looking to get a new job this year, according to a report from ResumeBuilder.com released earlier this week. Of those employees, some want to move into tech-related industries such as IT, business, and finance. According to a new report from Protocol, roughly 23% of those surveyed last month said they want to quit this year. Another 9% have already found a new job, and an additional 9% said they'll retire this year. Most of those resignations are happening in the retail, food, and hospitality industries, according to the report. Employees may wait for the end of the year bonuses to make change or see what new opportunities arise in the new year. Career strategist Carolyn Kleiman said in a report. Plus, as the situation continues, people continue to evaluate their lives and work as a large part of that. This comes on the heels of a report that Americans quit jobs at a record pace in November, as job openings hovered close to their all-time highs, and a sign that workers continue to hold most of the leverage before the Omicron variant sent C-19 cases soaring. I still don't know anyone that's sick or dead, but, what do I know, right? The number of workers quitting jobs vaulted to 4.5 million from 4.2 million above the prior recorded 4.4 million, reached in September. Labor Department said Tuesday that means 3% of workers voluntarily left their positions, matching September's record high. So, like I said, they know this. They know that you are going to, well, maybe not you or me, but they know and they want people to quit their jobs. That's why they're putting these mandates in. How else are you going to destroy the old world and bring in the new world economy? You can't. Employers posted 10.6 million job openings, down from a near record 11 million the previous month and just below July's all-time high. Labor said in its job openings labor turnover survey, openings have topped 10 million for 6 straight months. The decline was fueled by a drop of 261,000 openings in restaurants and hotels, even as vacancies in that industry have fallen from their July peak. Quitting and hiring have stayed strong, suggesting that some of the hiring difficulties might be easing, says Nick Bunker, Director of Research for Indeed, a leading job site. That's what this is all about. This is all about the reset. This is all about the New World Order. This is all about destroying the old world economy, bringing in the new world economy. And most people still can't see it. The truth is so in your face. It is so in their face they could literally taste it. You don't even have to look into anything anymore. Just look around. Look what they print on mainstream media. Come on. People still aren't getting it. They're not getting it. They won't get it. You know why? Because they are gone. They allow themselves to be fed mainstream propaganda. They allow themselves to be lied to. They allow themselves to believe this stuff. What can we do? What can we do other than do what we're doing now? We all should be open to ideas. I mean, If people aren't going to get up and get out and start speaking out and are just going to let this stuff happen, then we get what we deserve. And that's life. We get exactly what we deserve. And with that, I will end it here. I have a pretty long article that I'm going to bring up by itself, probably later on today or maybe tomorrow. I got some things I have to do today, but as always, please keep an eye out. Please speak out, tell your family, tell your friends, bring forth all of the reports, show them Agenda 21, buy the book, The Great Reset, show it to people, let people borrow it, get people talking. Maybe we can slow this down. God bless you all.